A very good evening to you, our viewers, wherever that you are watching us or viewing us from. We welcome you once again to yet another interesting health seminar, which is running right now at Lusaka Central Church. My name is Brother Mukuka Shola. To introduce my presenter this evening. And before I introduce my presenter, kindly allow me to say an apology to you, our viewers, that yesterday we had a challenge, and so the projection wasn't that much pretty good. And so today we have rectified it, and we promise you the best. And so my presenter this evening is Mrs. Jean Wright, the director for Be Free South Africa, and also the education director of Be Free Lifestyle Implementation of the Health Promotion. And it's my privilege and honor to introduce my presenter once again.
Thank you very much, Brother Kennedy. Last night was a bit much, wasn't it? Lots of information and almost too much to remember. But we want to reassure you that we are looking at the future. The team here is working on making the presentations available to you. And also the best news, I think, is that they're going to form a WhatsApp group. I should say we're going to form a WhatsApp group, because Distance means nothing nowadays when you have WhatsApp around and we can talk to each other freely from anywhere in the world. So we're going to tell you by the end of the week exactly how you can join the WhatsApp group and that we'll all become friends. We'll be able to share information and ask questions with each other. Just before we start, may we just talk to the Creator God? Our God, we thank you that you're interested in each one of us. You know what our needs are. You know how to talk to our hearts. And we're asking you, please, will you do that for us tonight? And we ask this in your great name. Amen. Right, so last night it was nutrition, and remember the overall title is The Best Life Ever. And what we're going to do now is we want to welcome you to exercise. And this is a point where people become less enthusiastic, but I'm hoping by the time we have actually finished that you will have some enthusiasm, you will be motivated. These presentations have been designed by Be Free Lifestyle, and we're making no money out of it, and it's just for educational purposes only. And always before a presentation, we have to give you a disclaimer nowadays. From a legal point of view, we need to tell you that this is not medical advice. What we're sharing with you is based on years and years of research and practical experience. We have found out what consistently works, and this is what we want to share with you. Please, if you have any health problems, would you consult a healthcare provider, and don't just turn to make decisions from this yourself. Because sometimes there are other pointers that we need to know about our health that will not come through here. If you look at this, last night we did nutrition. And today the second one is exercise. And what I want you to look at on the next slide is you will see two brains. The bigger one is a real brain, and that's what a brain looks like when it's really cared for. The bottom one is a brain that has not been well cared for. I made it smaller. It can be the same size as the other one, but you can see it's really looking sad. So I want to ask you a question. Do you know anything or any substance that you can swallow that can increase your brain size and slow down brain aging by 10 years? The same thing can improve learning, and it causes your brain to make extra growth hormone, which makes extra brain cells that you wouldn't have if you didn't have this particular one. They have found out that if you do this one, you can become 60% more creative in a half an hour. And I mean, that's amazing. It manages depression more effectively than antidepressants do. And these are medical studies. It reduces your risk of having a stroke. It strengthens your immune system. It reverses the effect of stress. And the best of all is it actually changes how you feel about yourself, that your self-esteem improves. It helps the thinning of your bone. And besides nutrition, it's the most powerful means of helping to stabilize blood sugar and actually get rid of the tummy that goes with an unstable blood sugar. It gives you more stamina, strength, energy, and what you have in this picture is a heart, a real live heart. And what it does is it boosts your heart health and it strengthens your heart. And here's something that's very interesting. If you are involved with this particular thing, it encourages very special cells in your immune system to go to cancer cells and destroy them. Now, if you look at the picture in the middle below, there's a lineup of cells. Do you see the little purple in the center of the cells? That's its nucleus. That's where it's governed. And there's a whole blob of cells. That's what happens when one cell becomes cancerous. It just keeps growing. There's nothing, those cells don't die. They will just keep spreading. Now, if you go to the two pictures on the right, these special natural killer cells, they're the blue ones. And they're attracted, because you are doing this particular thing, they're attracted to go to cancer tumor cells, and they go and give them a jolly good look over. What are you doing? You don't belong here. I'm going to do something with you. And it locks on. And if you look at the right-hand picture, it's actually putting little poisonous granules into the cancer tumor so that it is actually going to die. Yes, I know you've known all along that it's exercise. And actually, exercise does a lot more than what I have been telling you above. It actually positively affects your entire body. And current science is very kind to us. It's showing that no matter what your state of health is, there's an exercise option that is available for you. Now, just a few little, I think, maybe triggers to help us to get going. They have found not moving, and that's called being a couch potato. And it's been shown to be as hard on the heart as smoking. So we may feel very good that we're not smoking, but we're not moving. They've also found that sitting is the new smoking. So we are hurting ourselves when we are not moving. And I just want to read you a few quotes from one of my favorite authors, and all of this has been proven to be scientifically correct. Morning exercise, walking in the free, invigorating air of heaven, or cultivating flowers, small fruits, and vegetables is necessary to a healthful circulation of the blood. It is the surest safeguard against colds, coughs, congestion of the brain and lungs, inflammation of the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, and 100 other diseases. Wow, another quote from the same author. Those who accustom themselves to proper exercise in the open air will generally have a good and vigorous circulation. Men and women, young and old, who desire health and who would enjoy an active life, whatever their business and their inclinations, they should make up their minds to exercise in the open air as much as possible. And a last quote, nature's fine and wonderful works need to be kept in active motion in order to accomplish the object for which they are designed. Inactivity is a fruitful cause of disease. So, I hope you recognize the face. It just looks so happy. It fits into this slide so perfectly. Your president has a beautiful smile, and it's no secret that exercise makes us happy. It raises our heart rates and floods our body with feel-good hormones. It normalizes cholesterol and is one of the best ways to help balance blood sugar. But right until recently, the scientists had not actually just looked at the brain to see what happens there when we exercise. And they wanted to know, does it actually affect our state of mind? And so what they did is they first put some people onto a bicycle, and they watched what happened in the brain when the pedals started going round and round. And immediately they found that the blood flow to the brain increased quite considerably. And then they started testing with walking. And they found out that each time your feet actually hit the ground, that there's a pulse of blood that goes up to your brain. And they found this pulse actually matched your footprints or the pushing of the bicycle pedals. And then they did it with running as well. And they found out that the harder the feet actually hit the ground, the better the pulse was to the brain. So let's just summarize there. We have a podium with winners. And number one were the runners. They had the best blood supply to the brain. Number two were the walkers. And number three were the cyclists. But all of them work. And what science is telling us now, that any movement is better than no movement at all. And so what they're wanting us to do is they're saying it's less about moving more, but it's more about moving more of you. Have you got that? It's less about moving more, but it's more about moving more of you. So we need to learn to actually move our bodies more. And what happens is they have found the moment you get going, that you stand to gain a great deal in a very short time. And what they had found was that your body has a muscle memory. Now, if you were pretty fit at one stage, in the beginning they thought it was the muscles that remembered it. Because if you were very fit and you started exercising, you could get back to that level of fitness very quickly. If you'd never been very fit, it would take a lot more hard work to get there. And so they then found out that this muscle memory is not actually in the muscles, but it's up in the brain. And if you look at the picture of the brain, there are two black stripes. The top bit is the cerebrum, and that's where very important things happen. But right at the bottom over here is where the cerebrum is. And the cerebrum has got to do with movement. And they found that it's in the cerebrum that it is stored how fit you have been in your life. And it apparently doesn't lose it. So let's imagine that you have not exercised for a very long time. And now you want to get going. So we're going to call that the entry level. And what we're going to do is slowly build up. As you become fitter, you can just push your body that little more and that little bit more. And then eventually you can pass level 1 and you can start including level 2, maybe once or twice a week. And so the goal here is to start small and to build up and increase the intensity. Just work yourself a little bit harder. And please don't think that you haven't exercised properly if you don't have muscle pain after exercise, because we don't want you to have muscle pain afterwards. You've overdone it. It's not necessary. It actually causes you more harm than good. So there's nothing true about the no pain, no gain to exercising. I want to for a moment take you to 2005 when the National Geographic magazine published a study where they looked at people who lived to be 100 years old, and it was a very high quality of life. And they found 5 different areas of the world, but there was one common thing. They're in different parts of the world, but one common thing is they found they all moved. And they came to call these 5 areas the blue zones. And so they immediately became aware that the secret is to keep moving. And that's not too difficult, is it? And they found that most of the people in the blue zones don't go to gyms, they don't particularly exercise, and that they move about every 20 minutes. And they've come to call this exercise snacks. I love it. And they found that exercise snacks are absolutely the perfect way to actually bring movement into your daily life. Now, what's an exercise snack? If you look in the top picture there are a couple sitting on the chair. They had to walk to get there, to a park bench. There's somebody else, you can grab 2 water bottles and just lift them and use them as weights. You can take your pet for a walk. Somebody's out there with a camera and they're taking photos. You've got to walk. They're moving. And so it is with all the rest of the pictures that are there. So apparently now, as I look through to see what is happening, they have found that exercise snacks have become the new movement in the world of physical fitness. So they have found that these short, easy forms of exercise have almost the same benefit for you as more sustained workouts have. Now that's attractive too, isn't it? So we're going to teach you how to bring exercise snacks into your life. Now, when you're moving around, it's like putting some lubrication and some oil into your car. You need to keep it that there in order to keep the vehicle moving. You don't have to. The car will go for quite a long time without it, but it's going to run into trouble. And so what they have found is just simply walking around. They're not making you walk as fast as you can. They're not doing anything. Walk around your neighborhood, get into a shopping mall, do something for about 30 minutes a day. And they have found that 5 days a week is plenty. And if you want to add a little bit more spice to your snack, just start walking faster. Slowly get yourself faster and faster, because what you want to walk towards is that you are breathing just that little bit deeper and you feel a little bit warm. So clean your house. Don't give it to somebody else to do. Walk to a taxi if you're using one. When you go around the shop, to a shopping mall, don't park as close as you can to the mall. Park a little bit away so that you're going to do some walking. And walk at a safe speed that you can actually manage. You're just slightly pushing yourself. Here are more exercise snacks, and I love the smile at the bottom because that is what those are doing. These ones have chosen to do housework and to gardening and to walk to work, to walk to school, to walk to wherever it is. Now, that's level 1. We've got exercise snacks. Now we're going to take you to level 2. And this is sort of the average level. And if you're not sure about how much you can do, they have found out that just brisk walking is safe for most people. So how fast are you going to walk? You are going to walk as fast as you comfortably can. It may be that you're going to walk out in the beginning just for 3 or 4 minutes and walk back in. And every time you go out, you're going to walk a little bit further. If you're not well, if you're really not well, just chat to your health service provider and ask if it's okay for you to go onto this type of exercise, and they'll probably be so pleased that you're doing it. There's a picture there of a lady. She walked too fast. Can you see she's looking exhausted? If you're experiencing joint pain, start out small, because walk yourself through the pain. It will go. Don't be afraid of pain. Just take yourself, start small, and increase the amount of time that you do it. Just increase the time that you're doing with those sore knees by just 1 minute a day. Now, you've actually got 3 hearts. We all know about the one inside of our chest, but the other one is walking. The one inside of our chest pushes the blood up to the head and down to the toe. The walking one pumps the blood from the bottom, from your feet, up your legs and into your body. And your other one is deep breathing. So, if you're going to walk and you're going to massage your blood vessels and you're going to push the blood up, the blood is actually going to get sucked up into the lungs and pushed up into the heart because the lungs form a vacuum that helps to pull it up. So between the legs and the lungs, you've got this blood moving. Remember, inactivity is a fruitful cause of disease. It's not going to take you very long, and I'm talking about days, before you feel that you actually are coping with the distance you started with, and it's become easier, and you're walking further, and you're walking faster. Now I'm going to take you inside of a cell. So on the right-hand side, you have a cell, and on the left-hand side, you've got something called the mitochondria. And you can have just a few mitochondria in a cell, or you can have thousands. And exercise is the thing that builds more of them. So what do the mitochondria do? That's where your energy is made. So you want as many as you possibly can. Oopsie. Right, apologies. So, we've agreed, easiest way to go and get fit is to get out and walk in. Now, there's a door there, and many people have a stair at their homes. So if we can play, we're at home, and we're at a stair, I want you to actually support yourself with something as you go up the stair. And what you're going to do is you're going to put one foot up and the other foot down. And down we go. Both up, both down. Both up, both down. And you can slowly get faster and faster. Just remember to, in the beginning, to balance yourself. Your balance will eventually become very good. So you've got that one in. So it can actually go quite fast. I apologize. You see, you can land up going quite fast in this as you get fitter. Let's go back to where we are. And here's a picture of it. And you're going to start with just a half a minute doing it. So you time yourself so that you know. You may even want to put a clock on a wall or stand it somewhere so that you can watch what you're doing, so that you know you're controlling yourself. You're not going too fast, too quickly, and you're also not fast enough. So you're going to start with a half a minute, and you're going to work your way up to doing this for 3 minutes. I guarantee you're going to feel lovely and warm at the other end, and you will be pumping your blood around. Now, we had level 1, which was exercise snacks. We've had level 2, which is just getting these legs walking and warming ourselves up and trying to breathe just a little bit deeper. Now we're taking you to another level. And many people are doing this high-intensity interval training. What a long name for something that's actually very, very simple. And all this is you do short bursts of intense activity. And then you slow down for a little while afterwards. The lady on the left is just jogging on the spot. The one in the middle is doing sprinting on the spot. The one on the right is doing skipping. And you are now going to actually stress your body a little bit. You're going to bring your body out of its comfort zone. So you've worked your way through level 1, you worked your way through level 2, and now you're going to level 3. The results with this are absolutely remarkable. I can tell you, I was amazed at how quickly it actually made me fitter. So what you're going to do, you're going to warm up for 1 minute at a very gentle pace. And it could just be holding on to something and going up and down like this. You don't have to run, you don't have to skip, you don't have to do that, but you're going to just start, if that's what you're going to do the first round, just up and down, getting yourself warmer for 1 minute, because you need to warm your muscles up before you go. So you've warmed yourself up. Now you're going to run on the spot. And you'll start, or you're going to do this, and you're going to go as fast as you possibly can, or you're going to run as fast as you possibly can, so that for 30 seconds, that's it. You're going to do it as fast as you can. I can do it. It's easy for me. And you will get to the level where I am very, very quickly. So there are different ways of doing it. The one is running on the spot. There's skipping. There's just the squats that I was doing. And they're riding a bicycle, an exercycle. Or you can do whatever you want to. If you just want to throw a leg out sideways to get that one fit, go for it. Find your own way of doing it. But you want to make yourself, you're really going to stress yourself now. So that's level 3. So by the end of 30 seconds of exercising as fast as you can, you should be gasping for breath, and you should feel as though you can't go on for any longer. And then you just slow down. If you're really feeling a bit as though you need to take a rest, then just sit down in the beginning for that moment. Otherwise, what you do is you just carry on slowly. Do you see what's happening? It's no longer fast. The heart is going back to its old pace, and you're going to be rested so that the next time, the next 30 seconds, you can go fast. Whatever you've chosen to do, it can literally be 2 water bottles holding and just doing this. It doesn't matter, but you're going to do it as fast as you can, and you're going to be attracted to trying more things. So let's just do a quick review. You started with a 30-second warm-up, and then you pushed it to 30 seconds as fast as you can. Then you just slow down. And in the beginning, you may just do 1 cycle. And do that cycle until you're comfortably doing it. Don't add another one. And when this one starts becoming easy, then you're going to try doing 2 cycles with it. And just build yourself up. We don't need to go to gyms, but I couldn't leave out the gym because there's some people who really need to go to gym. I tried it for a year. I really tried to enjoy it. But I came to the other end, and I even had my husband with me. So we were both gymming. And at the other end, I said to him, this just doesn't talk to me. I want to get out again. So we're different, and allow people to be different. Allow people to actually be themselves. So the point of exercise is to get moving and to get yourself breathing more deeply. There's one part that I haven't really spoken about, and I'm actually going to talk about the exact chemicals that come out when you're exercising. Those chemicals are brain chemicals, and they're called neurotransmitters. And one of them is called endorphins. Now, can you hear the morphine part of it? Endorphin? That's what it is. It actually helps you to cope with physical and emotional pain. And then there's a very big word, but listen to it very carefully. Don't be intimidated by these words. Endo just means inside, and cannabinoids. Cannabis. We have natural ones inside of our body that only do good for us. They don't do any harm for us. So they are natural in our body. And then there's dopamine that makes you happy. And those start being produced when you're having your 16th deep breath. And I want to challenge you, even for sleep, if you can't sleep at night, lie in bed and just breathe deeply. And wait until it says breathe out. And wait until it says breathe in. And out again. And by the 16th breath, you are producing these that are making you really feel good. There's another big word, neuroplasticity. Our brain is changing every single day according to what we are doing to it and what we're experiencing. And that is called neuroplasticity. So if you take plastic, some of them are very soft and they can change shape very easily, and it enables your brain to adapt to what's going on around so much more easily. I want to challenge you to actually make exercise your stress release. And I'm taking you just a little bit further. How many of you ran around barefoot as a child? It's actually one of the best things we could do. Have you ever got out of a car and you touched it and you got a shock? There's a reason for that. See, what they have found is when we come into contact with the earth, that the earth has got lots of what they call antioxidants, healing substances that come out of it. It has lots of negative ions, which are negative electrical charges, which make us feel good. And if we're walking around in shoes all the time, we are not getting that. So we actually need to make time to be able to go outside, and I'm going to share with you where we can find them, because walking barefoot, the benefit we're getting from the earth. This is not new age. This is genuine science. And there are lots of studies now that are coming out that are showing this to be correct. So we said our earth is actually negatively charged. And where do we find lots of these negative ions? If you're near rocks, you're near trees, you have moving water, you have sunlight, all of these give out negative ions. This is why if you go out for a picnic, you feel good, don't you? If you go to somewhere where there's a river with water running, you come away feeling good. And we're sort of sacrificing that into the new lifestyles that we've been developing, and we're actually moving out, we're losing out. And what they have found, these electrons, these negative ions that come from the earth, they have found it causes beneficial changes in the heart rate, it decreases inflammation, which comes with most chronic diseases, it reduces pain, it promotes healthy sleep and thins your blood, and it makes your blood less sticky, and this has a benefit on your whole heart, your cardiovascular system. And so we want to know, well, where are we going to make sure that we're getting negative ions? Are there differences in different surfaces that we actually stand on? What we know is that negative ions from at least electrical equipment puts out positive ions. So what we need to know now is negative ions make us feel good. All those things we've just been reading makes us feel good. Positive ions make us feel bad. We don't feel good with it. So we can't get away from them. So we learn to manage it. And this was another one. It was interesting. It pulled out different benefits of grounding. That's what putting your feet onto Mother Earth is. It improves mood. And there are a whole lot of others, benefits, even jet lag. It helps to reduce. So your ideal place is to get somewhere where there's water. And if you put your feet into the water, it's even better. And because your body actually has so much water in it, your body and the water form a very good negative ion connection. And you will find that you're losing the positive ions that you have built out. I know that when I have worked where there's a photocopy machine, in an office environment where there are a whole lot of electronic devices, and if I've stood and I have photocopied for an hour, I have a thick head. I feel as though my head has ballooned a little bit. It feels thick. A grassy area. And I love the grass I'm seeing in the homes here in Lusaka. And so you've got the grass, you've got the running water, and they say particularly if the grass is covered with dew, the effect is even better. And trees do exactly the same. And here's where we're talking about that shock that comes from when you touch a car. And all you've got to do to stop it doing that the next time you get out the car is take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground, and put your shoes back on and touch the car, and the shock will have been gone. Concrete is a good conductor if it hasn't been sealed, if they haven't painted something over it. The picture on the left is an unsealed one. The picture on the right, they put paint onto it, and you can see the paint is peeling off, but that's not a conductor. You won't get rid of that by walking on painted concrete. Tar, wood, the plastic soles of our shoes. Most of our shoes now have plastic soles. They don't allow these electrons to pass through, and so they're not good enough for discharging all the positive ions that you may have. And if you're getting extra negative ions coming out of the earth, remember it's going to help you to feel better. So, that long story, just to leave a simple bit of advice with you. Make time each day to take your shoes off and to just come in contact with the earth. And you're going to find your sense of wellness is going to improve. So, we are coming to the end. And what I want you to remember out of this is you're going to start your exercise small. You're going to make it easy. You're going to make it safe. You are going to build up in intensity as you become fitter. You're going to listen to your body and not push it too hard. And then we know that we can actually ground ourselves to get rid of, if you're feeling tired, not feeling well, go and put your feet out on the grass, and even just the ground is fine, and it will all help you to feel better. So I just want to say thank you, and if I may, I would just like to say a prayer to our Creator God before we close. Dear God, you made us, and we've been challenged now to look at how we are living. Thank you for making fitness so very undemanding, that we can start small and we can build up. Thank you that you made our bodies to heal. And I'm praying for every single person that is listening. You know what their physical needs are. And we bring it to you and say, please, will you do what you know is best? And for that we say thank you.
Easy talk.